Have you ever felt like something inside you is changing? Like you're waking up from a dream you didn't even know you were in? One day the world seems normal. The same routine, the same conversations, the same struggles. But then something shifts. You begin to see beyond the surface of life. You question things you never questioned before. You feel a pull toward something deeper, something greater, but you can't quite explain it. This is the beginning of a spiritual awakening. It's not a fantasy, nor is it an escape from reality. It's the opposite. It's the moment you start seeing reality for what it truly is. And once it begins, there's no turning back. Your perspective on life will never be the same. But how do you know if you're really going through an awakening? Are you imagining things, or is your consciousness truly expanding? In this video, we'll go over the 7 undeniable signs that you are awakening spiritually. By the end, you'll not only recognize these changes in yourself, but you'll understand why this transformation is happening and what it means for your future. Let's begin. Sign 1. You feel disconnected from the ordinary world. At first, it feels strange. The things that once excited you, parties, gossip, chasing success for the sake of status, suddenly seem empty. Conversations that used to feel normal now feel shallow. The idea of keeping up with trends, material possessions, or societal expectations no longer holds the same weight. You start to feel like an outsider, as if you're observing the world rather than being fully immersed in it. You may even feel disconnected from friends and family who still live by the rules of the old world, the world you're slowly outgrowing. This isn't depression or apathy. It's a shift in awareness. You are beginning to realize that there is more to life than what you've been told. You crave depth, meaning, and truth. You might find yourself drawn to philosophy, spirituality, or ancient wisdom. You may start questioning the systems around you, education, religion, government. You see flaws in the world that were once invisible. At this stage, it's common to feel lost. You might wonder, why don't I fit in anymore? What's happening to me? But here's the truth. You're not lost. You're waking up. And that means the old version of you, the one conditioned by society, is beginning to fade. The key here is not to fight it. Don't try to force yourself back into the mold of your old life. Instead, embrace this disconnection as a sign that you're ready for something more, because this is only the beginning. Sign 2. Your beliefs and perceptions are challenged. Imagine this. You've lived your entire life believing in a certain version of reality. You were taught what is right and wrong, what is possible and impossible. You followed the rules, thinking they were absolute truths. But then, something happens. You start questioning things you never questioned before. Why do we live the way we do? Who decided what success looks like? What if everything I've been taught about happiness, fulfillment, and even spirituality is incomplete? Or worse, misleading? This is the moment when the foundation of your old belief system starts to crack. It can feel unsettling. When your beliefs shift, your identity feels like it's dissolving. The labels you once identified with, your nationality, religion, career, or even personal ambitions, suddenly feel limiting, like a cage you never noticed before. At first, this can be terrifying. You may resist clinging to old ideas because they feel familiar, but deep down, you know you can't unsee the truth. This is where many people either retreat back into comfort or step into the unknown. And here's the secret. Spiritual awakening is not about gaining new beliefs. It's about freeing yourself from old ones. It's about seeing the world as it is, rather than how you were conditioned to see it. The key at this stage is to stay open. Don't be afraid to question everything. Truth does not fear scrutiny. Because once you break free from mental conditioning, a new reality reveals itself, one far greater than you ever imagined. Sign 3. You experience intense emotional shifts. One moment, you feel an overwhelming sense of love and connection to everything. The next, you're hit with deep sadness or frustration. Emotions that you once suppressed now rise to the surface, demanding to be felt. This isn't random. It's part of the awakening process. As your consciousness expands, your emotional body purges old wounds, limiting beliefs, and past traumas that were buried deep within you. You may find yourself crying without knowing why, feeling bursts of anger, or experiencing moments of pure joy and gratitude. At times, it can feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster. But this isn't a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. You're releasing what no longer serves you. You're shedding the layers of conditioning that kept you numb or disconnected from your true self. This stage teaches you something profound. Emotions are not obstacles, they are teachers. Instead of resisting them, learn to observe them. When sadness arises, ask, "What is this trying to show me?" When anger appears, ask, "What boundary is being crossed?" The more you embrace this process, the more you'll notice something incredible. Your emotional ups and downs begin to stabilize. You no longer fear your emotions. You become the observer rather than being controlled by them. And this is where true inner peace begins. Sign 4. You crave solitude and introspection. There was a time when being alone might have felt uncomfortable, something to avoid. But now solitude feels different. It's no longer loneliness, it's peace. You find yourself wanting to step away from distractions, noise, and meaningless conversations. Instead, you seek quiet moments to reflect, to think, and to simply be. This is because spiritual awakening isn't about learning more from the outside world. It's about remembering who you truly are from within. In solitude, you begin to hear your own thoughts more clearly. You notice patterns in your mind. You realize how much of your life was shaped by external influences, society, family, expectations. And now, for the first time, you're starting to separate your true self from the version of you that was programmed by the world. This is why many awakened individuals naturally gravitate toward meditation, journaling, or simply spending time in nature. These practices help you tune into your inner wisdom, the part of you that has always known the truth, but was drowned out by the noise of everyday life. At first, others may not understand your desire for solitude. They may think you're withdrawing or becoming distant. But the reality is, you're not isolating yourself, you're reconnecting with yourself. And in doing so, you're preparing for something even deeper, a connection to the universe itself. Sign 5. You develop a deep connection with nature and energy. Something strange starts happening. You walk outside, and for the first time, you truly see the sky. The trees seem more alive, the air feels different. It's as if the world around you has been reborn. Or maybe, you're the one who has changed. This isn't your imagination, it's a shift in perception. As you awaken spiritually, you begin to sense energy in everything. You no longer see nature as just scenery, you feel its presence. You notice how the sun energizes you, how water carries a certain stillness, how animals seem more aware than you once believed, and it goes even deeper. You start picking up on the energy of people as well. You can sense when someone is being genuine or when they are hiding something. You feel drained around certain individuals and uplifted around others. This is because awakening heightens your sensitivity. Your intuition sharpens. You realize that everything is energy. Every thought, every word, every interaction carries a frequency. At first, this can be overwhelming. You may feel the need to protect your energy, to avoid chaotic environments or negative people. But over time, you learn to navigate this new awareness, using it as a guide rather than a burden. Because once you start seeing the world as energy, you begin to move differently within it. Sign 6. You let go of fear and control. Fear used to dictate so much of your life. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of what others think. But now, something is shifting. The things that once terrified you don't hold the same power anymore. Why? Because you're beginning to see through the illusion. You realize that control is an illusion, that no matter how much you try to plan, predict, or force things to happen, life has its own flow, and instead of resisting it, you start to trust it. This is the moment when fear starts to dissolve. You stop worrying about the opinions of others because you understand that everyone sees life through their own lens. You stop being afraid of uncertainty because you know that everything happens for a reason, even if you can't see it yet. It's not that you become reckless or indifferent, it's that you become free. Free from the mental prisons that once held you back, free from the constant need to prove yourself, free from the idea that you must control everything to be safe. And when you finally let go, you don't fall, you rise. Because life was never meant to be controlled. It was meant to be experienced. Sign 7. You feel a calling to help others. Awaken. At first, your awakening felt personal, something happening within you, something only you could understand. But then, something changes. You begin to see others trapped in the same illusions you once believed in, struggling with the same fears, searching for the same answers. And you feel a deep, undeniable urge to help them see what you now see. This doesn't mean you become a guru or try to force your beliefs on others. Instead, you lead by example. You become more patient, more compassionate, more understanding. You share wisdom not to change people, but to plant seeds that will grow when the time is right. You may find yourself drawn to teaching, coaching, or simply having deeper conversations with friends and family. You realize that awakening isn't just about your personal growth. It's about elevating human consciousness as a whole. But here's the truth. Not everyone will be ready. Some people will resist. Some will dismiss you. Some will even ridicule you. And that's okay. Because spiritual awakening is not something you can force upon others. It's something they must discover on their own. Your role is not to wake people up. It's to shine your light so that those who are ready can find their way. And that is the mark of someone truly awakened. Spiritual awakening is not a destination, it's a journey that challenges everything you thought you knew, but also reveals a deeper truth about who you really are. You may feel disconnected from the world, but that's because you're beginning to see beyond the illusion. Your beliefs may be shaken, but that's because you're breaking free from old conditioning. Your emotions may be overwhelming, but that's because you're healing. And as you go through this transformation, remember, you are not alone. Many before you have walked this path, and many are walking it right now. Some may be further along, while others are just beginning. But no matter where you are, your awakening is happening for a reason. So embrace it, trust it, let go of fear, follow your intuition, and allow yourself to become who you were always meant to be. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these signs have you experienced? Do you feel like you're in the middle of a spiritual awakening right now? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear this message today. Because the world is waking up, and so are you.